Hey everybody, it's Sergio here, and I'm finally making this video. I'm gonna try to make it a quick one, but there's a lot of information, and it's about spiritual baths. I made a poll maybe about 2 months ago, and I was asking you guys what topic you guys wanted for a video, and you guys chose spiritual baths. So I came up with 5 topics that you need to know about spiritual baths. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first question that I think is very important is, what is a spiritual bath? So a spiritual bath is a ritual that uses water, herbs, flowers, and any other kind of like natural essence that have a mystical power to them. And there's thousands of recipes out there, but essentially it's to either cleanse the auric field of any negative attachments or anything like that, or to pull positive energy, depending on the purpose that you want them for. So why are spiritual baths so important? So just like keeping our physical body, clean, it's also very important to keep our auric field or our spirit body clean as well. And I'm gonna use the example of like a clean or dirty house because it just makes up, that's how it works in my mind. But like whenever you have a dirty house, like if you keep trash all over the kitchen, let's say, you leave stuff unorganized and stuff like that just because you don't clean up, then what happens, you start getting clutter, you start getting trash, bacteria starts building up. So it's kind of the same thing with our spiritual body, where like if you're leaving all the negative stuff that you're picking up from your day-to-day things, or like the negative emotions that you pick up. So just like the trash can start pulling in uninvited pests like cockroaches, ants, all of that stuff, same thing happens with our auric field. Whenever we have so much negativeness in our auric body, then it can be very serious and very dangerous, because this can pull negative energies. It could even pull demonic entities, anything negative, or even like negative attachment, like spirit attachments, that can happen. And whenever I say it can be very dangerous, I'm being very serious, because whenever this negative energy comes into your aura, this is where this stuff can start manifesting in a physical level. So that's usually whenever we start seeing the headaches, the depression, the anxiety, the night sweat, the suicide thoughts, and all the bad stuff. So that's why it's very serious to actually cleanse and use the spiritual baths properly, and do it within, as soon as you start getting like physical manifestation, like physical feelings, and then you're like, you go to the doctor and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you, or there's no reason for you to have headaches if you're sleeping well, you're eating well, so on, then that's usually a sign of a negative attachment. So how do spiritual baths help? So the cleansing spiritual baths, what they do, they remove all the negative attachments or any negative energy that you might have attached to your aura. At the same time, this will protect the aura, okay? Because just like anything in earth, just like humans, animals, plants, herbs, all of that, just like that has energy, then all the stuff that you're using, assuming it's all natural stuff, has a vibration, has a mystical power, has a spiritual power, okay? Now also, don't think that it will work just by tossing stuff in. I do always recommend to work with somebody that has knowledge of what they're using, of course, because a lot of people, it's not just about tossing any kind of flowers and so on. You have to know what each ingredient holds as far as power, okay? So that's the number one thing. Now the number two thing that I do also think is very important is to work with somebody that has faith and that has a very strong intention. That's why most of the time I usually don't give out like recipes for you guys to do at home. That's because sometimes I just don't. I want it to work. This is why whenever like, oh, like why do you have to do the bath for me? Why just give me the recipe and I'll do it at home. I'll do it. I don't mind doing it, but then I don't want you to complain that, oh, it didn't work, or I don't want you to think like, oh, the spiritual stuff doesn't work. That's because usually you're gonna be just tossing stuff around. You're not gonna do the right prayers. You're not gonna know what intention to put on each herb or in each flower or whatever you're using, and that's the most important thing. You have to have faith. You have to know how to activate the power of each ingredient. The next question is, what type of baths there is, okay? So there are different types of baths. There are what we call bitter baths, which are usually used to remove all the negative energy. And there's different type of like different levels. There's baths that we use daily. People that usually work with the spiritual realm have a bath that they use daily, that they have to use in order to remove all the stuff that we pick up whenever we do readings, whenever we're doing mediumship sessions, or any kind of other spiritual work with other people. We have to keep ourselves protected. So there's those day-to-day baths. There's some that are a little bit more stronger that people do, for 3 days, 4 days, even a month. It just really depends on how strong the attachment is and what spirit, what spirit will prescribe to you, basically. Now, there's also what we call sweet bath. With the sweet bath, basically, these are baths that we use usually after we take bitter baths. These are to pull in all the positive energy, or all the, I guess like all the light to you after you remove all the darkness, and you're good to pull all the good stuff to you. And there's a tons of these ones because there's different. It just depends on the purpose and what you want to pull. There's love baths, there's money bath, prosperity bath, clarity, health, different types of baths. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is that you have to do a bitter bath before you do a sweet bath. Because I see a lot of like botanicas and just spiritual workers that just sell like individual, like a money bath or a love bath or come to me bath or whatever, which is good. But they don't instruct their customers that, hello, you need to cleanse yourself first before you use the sweet baths. That's also something that's very important. Again, that's why I just don't sell baths just like that. I feel like I always have to know your situation before I even prescribe a bath to you. So first, let's go ahead and get rid of all the bad stuff that you have so we can clear it out, and then you can go ahead and call in all the positive energy. Because if you just do a sweet bath without cleansing yourself, it's kind of just like purposeless. So that's why it's very important to first do the negative, removing the negative, and then call in the positive. Now, where can you get a spiritual bath? So with the use of the internet, you can get spiritual baths from anywhere. There's a lot of spiritual workers online and locally as well that you can find and that are willing to help you. It really just depends on your preference and who you feel, comfortable with and who you trust, or your practice as well. There's some people that are into, like, if you're like into the orishas, and you kind of always look for a babalao to help you out with that. If you're in the 21 division, you usually stick to mambos or bukors or whatever. Now, if you're interested in a bath, it's really easy to find. You can just find somebody online. If you're interested in working with me, as I do baths as well. This is what I like to do though. I don't serve just anybody. I will have to do like a spiritual consultation first to see what your situation is. I'm usually very good with with removing negative attachments, but to a certain level. And same things happens with pulling all the good stuff. If your attachments are very strong, like if I'm doing a consultation with you and I feel that whatever attachments are too strong for me to work with, then I will gladly connect you with other people that I know that are very good with baths and that are experienced with working with demonic attachments or exorcism. So that's pretty much the video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment if you have any questions down below. Share this video with anybody that's interested. And if you're interested in a spiritual bath, make sure you DM me on Instagram, either at Guided by Light or Set Your Own Spirit. You guys have a great night. Bye bye.